I'm gonna form Portugal using lies and deceit, and murder, and kidnapping, mostly murder though. Starting as Duke Nuno II of Portugal in 1066, I would choose a skullduggery focus to help me commit heinous atrocities. This start has you as a vassal in the Kingdom of Galicia. You begin the game with only one direct county, so I would start by claiming the other county in my main title Duchy. 7 years it would take, so might as well kill this bishop to get a better one. I failed the murder scheme, so I tried again. I seduced my wife, gotta have those kids. Hopefully she doesn't mind the murder. This time my murder scheme did not fail, and I got a new bishop. He was only slightly better. Oh well. The plan is to get independence by kidnapping my liege, so I unlocked the kidnap perk. I promise that will make sense later. I'm my liege's spy master, so any hostile intrigue action will be super easy. I started the abduct scheme, and just let the game autofill agents. It only took a couple of months and the scheme was ready. I started an independence faction. My fellow vassal actually started a dispose faction and invited me to it, but I declined. Poor guy. I unlocked twice schemed and started a murder on the neighboring ruler to my south. I would need to take his land to form Portugal, so I might as well start destabilizing his realm. When the chance for abduction reaches its max, I kidnapped the king. Right after he became my prisoner, I started an independence war. Having the enemy ruler as a hostage gives you 100 war score, so I immediately won the war. Now that's one way to get your freedom. Now that I have my freedom, I need to take these 4 duchies that would make up Portugal. As of right now making this video, I literally only have 10 subscribers, so if you subscribe now, you're essentially a major shareholder and will get a seat on the board. Thank you so much, and let's get back to forming Portugal. I murdered my southern neighbor. The new guy is at war with Leon, but also allied to Leon, which is quite funny. My bishop finalized my claim, so I increased my crown authority and went to revoke the title. Except this stupid child has like less than a 50% chance to accept the revocation. It's literally a child, how is he supposed to say no? I started a kidnap scheme on him, but his court finds out, and I don't feel like waiting, so I raise my troops and revoke his title. Another vassal joins him in the rebellion. I actually lost the first battle, so I quickly looked for an alliance and got myself allied to this Islamic state in Iberia with 2,000 troops. I called them in, and they came and won the war for me. I take the county I fabricated a claim on, and I also took the county from my other rebellious vassal, so them joining the war actually helped me fill my domain limit. I like kidnapping people, so I start an abduct scheme on my vassal. I also fabricated a hook on my vassal for 50 gold, and then used that hook to blackmail them for 50 gold. What a great trade. Whenever I get these events to test poisons, I always do it, like who cares if this random dies? The Battle Y'all's kingdom is super destabilized, probably due to me killing their leader during a war. I upgrade my men-at-arms just a tiny bit and start a struggle clash, which will allow me to take the counties on my border. The siege is taking forever, so I create some mangonels. My stronger ally won't join the war, but my small ally will. He is small, but he has just enough troops to guarantee my victory. I beat the enemy army, but then a third-party army comes and crushes mine and takes over my siege. I just accept that I won't be sieging that county for a bit and go for the other one. My ally doesn't really care and makes me go for it anyways. Hopefully that other army doesn't come back. My abduct scheme finally comes to pass and I kidnap my vassal. My other vassal took his land since he couldn't defend himself. That's annoying. In response, I started to murder him. I sieged 1 more castle, winning the border struggle and gaining 2 more counties. I now fully held 2 out of 4 of the duchies. The King of Castile was willing to be my alibi. What a friend. Unfortunately, I failed to murder my vassal anyways. I settled for kidnapping him. I bet he wished I killed him now. Iberia is the other kingdom that contains land that I would need for Portugal. Their leader is close to death, so I choose to murder his heir. Also, I abducted the primary heir Castile for money. Iberia actually has 2 male heirs, so I started a murder scheme on the other son as well. I was about to do the murder, but I didn't have an alibi, so I would have certainly been caught. I decided to use my scheme advantages for an alibi. The old man king died before I killed his sons, so the land actually split up, and I was now attempting to kill the king. It would be a shame to waste the time, however, so I still killed him. They caught me. I guess the alibi was useless. I bet this guy was happy as I united the realm by killing his brother. He wasn't happy for long since I killed him too. The new leader was now some random 17-year-old. Now I'm a known murderer, yet this guy in the shower still makes fun of my dick size. I start fabricating a claim on the southern part of Portugal as I'm unable to do a border struggle since we do not share a border yet. I really want to declare war on this guy, but I still have a truce. That 17-year-old boy grew up some and created an alliance, so I killed him. I helped my ally in a war, actually 2 wars. Pretty much all of Iberia is fighting at this point. My claim fabrication materialized, and I now had a claim on southern Portugal. They annoyingly formed another alliance. Time for murder once again. There's a plague and I get sick. I then get the infirm trait. I'm only 49, but there's no way I'm going to live for much longer. When I die, my sons are going to split up my land, and I'll lose part of my realm to my brother in the succession. There's an easy fix to that. I threw my second son in jail. Then I executed my own son. I'm sorry, Ponce. I already had killed my own son, so I did not care about the consequences of anything. I considered revoking my vassal's title, but I didn't want to lose the legitimacy. I got a message from the papacy. Castile claimed my second duchy. That is not a good sign. I was on death's door, and Castile was looking to go to war with me. I wouldn't have to worry about it because I died. Luckily, 13-year-old boys are great at running a nation, right? Luckily, I kept my alliance through marriage to my stronger ally, and I was surprisingly better than my father. I had a higher domain limit and had more gold and levies to spare. Because I died, I lost a claim that I created, so I started it again. I married a courtier off to the best spymaster I could find and assigned them to educate me. I wanted to declare war on my southern neighbor for the 2 counties in Portugal that I needed, but I was worried as there was a rebellion starting. But the neighbor was in a war and they were close to winning, so it was kind of now or never, so I decided to go for it. I declared war for the 2 counties along the border that I needed. My army was stronger than theirs, so I decided against calling in my ally. I sieged the castle, then fought the enemy army. I had an incredible commander who greatly helped my chances. Winning the battle gave me 100 war score, allowing me to quickly win the war. I didn't get the land directly, but instead gained the vassals. They are of a different culture and religion, so it's likely they will attempt to rebel at some point. My regent was growing strong, so I would need to swing the scales in my favor in the future. Just like I expected, the new vassals created a liberty faction. And then it happened. Castile declared war on me, but they had less troops than I was expecting. For some reason, Castile is ignoring these wars going on in their own country, but will happily come invade mine. They caught my army and beat me in a battle. I tried to run away, but they attacked me again. I was stack wiped and no longer had a military. In a time like this, my regent was revoking titles? I was fine with it because I didn't like those titles anyway, so I just ignored it. I hired 2 groups of special mercenaries. My allies also arrived to the war. Right before a battle started, my claim was completed. I was hiding in the mountains, which would give my army an advantage in this fight. For some reason, the fights happened one after the other. The first group lost, and then with all my might, the second group was about to lose too. Then the man with the claim on my duchy died. The war was invalidated, and I cut away scot-free. Even though I didn't even need the special mercenaries, and they didn't help at all, I still had to pay them extra after the war. What a scam. It put me in the debt, but I was not too worried about it. Maybe I should have been a little worried about it since my vassals started a civil war right afterwards. I just called in my ally, which should make the rebellion easy to put down, and then I became an adult with only a level 2 education. I guess this is what happens when your father, who is also your teacher, dies before you get educated. I chose a skullduggery focus just like my father. My army was still destroyed from the last war, so I only had 300 troops. I get into a fight with another small group of troops, and my overpowered commander helps me to win. I ended the power sharing using renown. It actually costed me prestige, so it was really an easy choice. My allies arrived and the enemy started to run away. We caught half the troops in a battle and killed them all. We then caught the remaining troops trying to take my capital. Then, we did this weird dance going back and forth. I wanted my ally to just siege while I killed the enemy, but they kept following me, and I eventually said screw it and just let them take a castle, and I did that as well. Castile then declared war on me yet again. They had more troops this time, so I formed a new alliance with Bavaria. They were quite far away, so I had to stall until they get here. I finished the rebellion war over time from the ticking war score, and then was able to focus on the Castilian invasion. Except, my allies had arrived, and there was not a single Castilian troop in sight. I found a group with only a mere 300 men. I killed them, and then went to siege castles in Castile. There was a group of only 29 men trying to take my capital, which is definitely not enough men for a siege. The Castilian army finally showed up, but I had already taken so much land that I was able to just win the war without even fighting them. I created the 3rd duchy title of Portugal, and now only needed 1 more. The once great kingdom that I fought tooth and nail against now had a smaller military than me, no allies, and was already at war. I upgraded my army even more to make my victory guaranteed. So, I slept with my wife, and then declared war for the 1 county I needed from them. I went to fight them, but they ran away, so I seized the capital for free. I knew this war was going to be easy, so I brought my eyes south and went to murder the ruler of the last kingdom I would need to fight. I accidentally fought the enemy army while crossing a river and faced a sad defeat. I came back and won a battle. The enemy sailed to my land, so I went and killed them, destroying the entire army and winning the war, taking another county. To form Portugal, I only needed to conquer these 2 counties. I went forward with my plan to kill the ruler of those counties and successfully killed them. I was caught, so I gained the trait Murderer, but it was worth it. Killing him left a 2-year-old boy in charge with no allies while already at war. I declared what I hoped would be the final war to create Portugal. I invited my ally to help. I wasn't sure where the enemy armies were because I was sieging for free. I now controlled the war goal, and I finally found the enemies as they were attempting to siege my castles. I considered fighting, but as I controlled the war goal, I decided to play it defensively. I took a fight once they started sieging, and that had me win the war. I just needed to usurp this duchy, which would cost me 30 more gold than I had. I waited a few months and took the title. Now I needed some extra money to form Portugal. I got invited to a crusade that I wanted to ignore, but agreed to join anyways. I hit the 300 gold required, and then I formed Portugal. But can I make Portugal the strongest nation in the world? Like and subscribe if you like ice cream. I mean, come on. I know you like ice cream. Who doesn't like ice cream?